Patient. If I don't do nothing else, but you gon' love me from a passion. If I don't do nothing else, but I'ma go secure the back end. I put my heart into my soul, and there's a told you this back. Welcome back. Sorry if that was too loud. Probably right in the microphone. Hey, welcome back. Got another video today. Today I'm going to discuss something that's very important. Some people may know about it, some people may not. And a lot of people may be thrown off because it's not widely talked about. But we need to talk about it, and it's a conversation that sometimes can be difficult. But paying commissions, paying your buyer's agent. How do buyer's agents get paid? This one's tough. And like I said, it could be a difficult conversation to have with clients. I've had these conversations over and over, so I figured I will just make this video. That way, when anytime anybody asks, well, how do you get paid, or start questioning on paying me or paying you as a buyer's agent, just share and give them this video, okay? I'm going to start it off like this. Yes, buyer's agents get paid from real estate transactions. We do have to get paid. Nobody is working for free. Okay, let me say that again. For the people out there in the back, people that's watching, whatever, investors, we do not want to work for free. Okay, so I'm going to say that. First and foremost, we'll just start off with that, okay? We just don't. Have the conversation up front with your buyer's agent, whoever that may be. Have that conversation up front so you can get all that out the way and you can understand how that buyer agent runs his business or how he gets paid, so they can explain that to you. Even maybe, should, go over the documents as far as how they get paid when it goes down to that little paragraph or two when it talks about compensation. Okay? Just get it out the way. First things first, hey, I want to give you this document. This is how buyer's agent gets paid. This is how the selling agent, listing agent gets paid. Okay? Do you have a problem with that? This is the way I'm just going to start approaching it, because obviously I've been failing. Okay? I'm going to be honest. Told y'all I'm 100% transparent. That's just me. I'm honest. Okay? It's you can call it a flaw, but it's not a flaw. I'm honest. That's a good trait to have, right? But sometimes it can be a flaw. So I'm just super honest. I can't help it. That's just me. With that being said, the reason why I say that is because, it's been coming up lately. And sometimes, I'm having clients that are just questioning this, questioning that, questioning this, questioning another document, questioning that, sending emails back and forth. I got this one where, it's been like 3-4 days. They got an offer. I wrote it up. It's ready to go. They reached out. They wanted me to help them acquire some rental properties. Okay, here's 2 properties we want to invest in. We want to put offers on these. Okay, cool, bet. Here's the documents. If we have not had that talk yet, what I do is I will send the document over, and every document I send, I will also type a note or a paragraph or something kind of explaining, okay, this is what this document's for, or this is why I need it, or this is kind of what it says. Just a little short. And I would say, if you have any questions, please reach out. Okay? Let me clarify. So I'm like, hey, if you got any questions, let me clarify. And then, like I said, it's been going 2-3 days. I think it's day 4 now, to where we've been emailing back and forth or texting back and forth. Nothing rude or anything like that. Just having conversations, just me explaining stuff in more depth now that they're finally reading all these documents. Okay? And one of them came up about commission, and, I guess my broker just, commission paragraph, that little blurb there is kind of misleading, or, it's just a little confusing. And it's like, well, you guys got to understand, attorneys make up these documents. So yes, they are going to be confusing a little bit. So us agents, us brokers, we just try to put it in layman terms for you, short, simple, and sweet. And sometimes it comes off like, hey, this is it, that's all it is. Well, really, that's really all it is. It might be 3 paragraphs, but we're going to tell you, okay, this is what it is, this is how I get paid, that's it. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's move forward. And then they still were like, well, it's just misleading, and it makes it seem like we're paying a full 3% commission, and and on top of the $4.95 fee that your brokerage offer or says that we have to pay. And once again, I'm going to explain to you, like, okay, I get it, but this is really all it's saying. And yes, all you have to pay is the $4.95 fee to the brokerage. Every broker is different. Every company is different. Whatever that fee is that the buyer agent, their brokerage is requiring, pay it. There's teams out here, sometimes they charge $700. I've seen teams charge $800. And really that money goes to paying employees. It might go pay their admin or, their transaction coordinator who's doing the paperwork for you if they're not doing it themselves, right? Nobody wants to work for free, period. I will repeat that again. So when you're having these conversations and you reach out to that agent and you're questioning how they're going to get paid, tread lightly. That's all I'm saying. You can ask the questions, you can trust, you can verify, but just tread lightly because you should be trusting your agent. If you've already got to that point to where they're doing documents for you and they're getting ready to submit an offer, there should already be some type of trust there. If not, don't go into that relationship. Don't even reach out. Or you can reach out, but don't say, hey, I'm going to put in this offer. Wait until you establish that trust, right? Because this is the person that's putting in that offer for you, which means they're doing the paperwork, which it can be tedious. It could be 5 documents that they got to, fill out for you. Mind you, each document's probably 5 pages, sometimes longer than that. It could be 10 pages, 15 pages, and it's like, and you got a few of these documents. That takes time, right? Buyer's agents also go out to view the property for you, right? They will go out there with you if you're local, or if you're, like me, I work with a lot of out-of-state investors and relocations and things like that. It's just me going out there. I'm taking pictures. I'm videotaping for you, trying to see, if this property is a good fit. Then I have to come home, and most of the time it's like I'm downloading it to a drive. Then I got to upload that drive to you so I can send it to you, the link, whatever, so you can have all your photos and video that you need. Then there's more work involved. I'll get into that later. But there's more work involved than just, okay, I'm going to type up an offer and submit it. And even if that was the case, we still should be paid for that, right? So that's why I say tread lightly, because us agents, us brokers, well, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else. I'm speaking for me. When a client comes to me and they ask about commission, we speak about it. And like, okay, hey, yep, this is all you got to pay. Normally, hey, the seller, yep, okay, that's the way it works out. We're going to get to that later, so keep watching. I will explain all this. Trust me, I'll explain how it works. But when we go through all that and we tell you, hey, this is what it is, that's what it is, right? So when you continue to come back once, 2, maybe 3 times, like, okay, we want to, we really just want to get an understanding on the commission again. It's confusing. Which there's nothing wrong with clarification. There's not. But when it comes to be a repetitive thing and the way you word it, it just shoots out red flags. I'm just being honest. Because that tells me, one, that means you probably don't trust me. And I'm like, if you don't trust me, why are you working with me? For 2, it leads to think that you're either being cheap or you just flat out just don't want to pay us. Right? One of the 2. And so that's a red flag, because you're like, how could you expect us to go work for you, taking our time to go drive out to these properties 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trips, doing inspections, whatever, want to go view it, writing up the offer, answering phone calls in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day or answering texts. This is all work. How could you expect us to want to have your back and work for you when you're questioning on how I'm getting paid, or should I pay you, or do I have to pay you? So yes, I'm talking about it today because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It is what it is. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm just going to tell you that's how it looks. It's like, man, this person doesn't want to pay me. Well, if you don't want to pay me, I don't want to work for you. And there's a caveat to that. Okay, there's a caveat to it. I'll get to that too later. Continue watching. There's a caveat to that, and it's just real estate. It is what it is. But it's kind of been backwards and kind of been screwed up since the jump. That's just the way it's always been. I don't control that. I didn't set that up, but it's the way we get paid. And so it sucks sometimes for buyers agents when you get people that want to use you and have you run all over town, but then you realize they don't want to pay you. Or in essence, they're not paying you anyway. But you can't pay my little $500 fee to my brokerage. Could be looking at a multifamily worth, you know, $250,000, $300,000, which I've done. I've had this happen. You're looking at a $500,000 transaction, but then here you're questioning $500. But make it make sense. And I get it; these things are expensive. I totally understand that. But if you're gonna have this agent help you with a $500,000 transaction, you don't think they're worth $500? I'll wait. I mean, $500. You don't think they're worth $500 for you to be able to trust them and handle your $500,000 purchase? It should be a little bit more, right? Possibly. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got that out the way. I'm just throwing it out there. And I'm just letting y'all know. Please tread lightly. Have the conversation, but be polite and just say, "Hey, I just want some clarification on how you're getting paid or how much we have to pay you or something like that." That comes out a lot better than just some vague email or vague text saying, "Hey, do we got to pay you?" Or "How do you get paid? What's this 495 fee?" Like, that's to pay me. Yeah. It says, here it says check box, seller and buyer pays for the commission. Is that true? So you want us to do all this stuff for free? Do you work for free? I didn't think so. I mean, if you do, that's on you. I don't work for free. So from the time you sign that contract, I'm passionate and I'm busting my ass to work for you. Some days I might lose sleep. There's some days where I don't even eat. It could be breakfast or lunch. I wake up. I'm because I'm motivated and I'm a go getter. So I go. Ask my wife. She'll be like, "Hey, did you eat lunch today?" I mean, most of the time, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I don't eat. I eat lunch and dinner, but I skip breakfast often because I'm up and I'm ready to go. But it's numerous times I'll look up and it's 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off for these clients. And I'm like, dang, I ain't even ate today. It's 3 o'clock. But then here, you guys want to question paying $4.95 for my broker's fee. I mean, some of this stuff is just ridiculous. Have some respect and a common decency to be like, yes, I know this person deserves to be paid for what they're doing. If not, don't jump in the game. Or if not, you can just go straight to the listing agent and have them write up your offer and do all that good stuff. Which means they're gonna get paid twice. And they're not gonna have your back because they are representing the seller. So that's all I gotta say about that. If you don't trust your buyer's agent or you don't want to do, just go straight to the listing agent. Let them get the buku bucks for representing the seller and leaving you out to dry. They're just gonna do your paperwork and say yes or no and keep it moving. because it is annoying, and I'm tired of sitting here having to fight for commission, or and not necessarily fight for it, but have that conversation, and it's always feeling like you guys don't want to pay me. There's nothing wrong. Like I said, once again, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation. Yes, it needs to be had. Yes, maybe some clarification, but the conversations I'm having and the way they look, it's like we just kind of don't want to pay you. And then they'll say, "Well, we respect everything you do, and we want a long-term relationship. We want to do this for the long term, and so yes, we want to build with you." But your question on paying me. How can you expect me to give you a long-term relationship, but here you is, you only want to pay me $500? Make it make sense. So, all right, now I'm going to dive into the payment, how we get paid, and all that good stuff. There's videos out here saying this stuff, but this is mine. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm just going to break it down nice, simple, and sweet. Ever since back in the day, I don't know, before I was even born in real estate, the way it works is the buyer's agent gets paid from the listing side, technically by the seller. And this is when I say it's crazy. It's kind of been screwed up from the beginning, but it is the way it is. The seller is technically the one that is paying me, the seller. But I am supposed to represent the buyer and have their best interest at heart and to protect them, keep them good, keep them happy, make sure they're not buying crap, make sure they're getting their value out of the property that they're buying, and make sure that they are heard and the negotiation goes well in their favor, right? But the seller is paying me. And all my buyers, all they have to pay is literally, if it's an on-market property, is the $495 fee. $495. That seller might be forking up 15 grand, 20, 25 grand. But I'm supposed to be working for you, the buyer. See how that's kind of, it's messed up, right? Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Last year, there's a class action lawsuit going across the country. Is they're trying to change this. And I see a little why there's a lawsuit, but it is what it is. And if it goes through, people are saying it's going to change the landscape, which meaning, yes, when you call that buyer's agent next time, they're going to be like, yep, you do got to pay that 2% or that 3% commission. So you ain't getting no buyer's agent. If whatever happens like they want it to happen, to where they switch it up and the buyer's clients got to pay for them and the seller clients got to pay for them. Woo! You want to talk about some changes? I bet you there'll be a bunch of people that's like, oh my goodness, that they're gonna start respecting their buyer's agent, or they just gonna get out of the game, or they just gonna be going straight to that listing agent, like I said. And then that listing agent is gonna come to you and say, well, I'm getting paid for my seller. I can help you, but you got to pay me. Is that fair? Yeah, they're working. So now they're doing two jobs. They're doing, their seller's job and they're doing yours. They should be paid. Can't knock them for asking for that. And what you're going to say, well, I got to pay, but you got to pay to play the game, folks. You don't walk into the doctor's office. How do you get paid? Questioning fees when that dude just saved your life? You don't question the nurse and how they're getting paid. And you ain't paying them. Insurance is, right? But you ain't questioning it. It's a part of the process. You pay to play the game. So you want to invest, you want to be an investor, you want to buy a house, then pay your agent. Which you're technically not even doing. You keep forgetting, that's the caveat. You're not, the seller is. But y'all can't pay $500. Only time you would have to pay me is if it's a for sale by owner, Or I find you something off market, which is one of my specialties. I get deals thrown at me daily via text, Facebook, via email, off market properties. And I bring them to client, hey, it's a deal. Oh, but then you got to pay me $3,000. Yep, there's a fee. I got this deal for you. I should be paid, right? I found the deal. I brought it to you. Then I'm going to have to negotiate the deal. Then I'm going to have to travel out, take pictures, video for the deal. It's work. I'm going to have to answer phone calls, text. It's work. So the way it's always been, the listing agent goes out there to the seller. They have a conversation. They say, hey, I'm going to list my house. What are we going to agree upon? Is it 7%, 6%, 5%, 4%? It varies. It's not set in stone. They can do whatever they want. When I go list a house, I can list it for whatever I want, as long as that seller agrees with me. And then I got to split that amount with the buyer's agent. So if it's 6%, we split it. Normally it's fair and it's kind of across the board. It's 50-50. But you got some people out here that don't do that. You got some people out here that might be greedy or they might be hurting at the time. You don't know what the case or the scenario may be. If it's a 6% commission, they can turn around and say, hey, I'm taking 3. You getting 3. Or they can say, which is customary, like I said, 50-50. Or they can say, nah, I'm taking 4%. You're getting 2. They can. They can say, I'm getting 5. You're getting 1. If they want to, I'm over here getting 1%. They can. So when I tell you, I'm like, hey, that 6% or that 3%, it's never guaranteed. And it's not guaranteed that I'm getting that amount. People look at it like, oh, yeah, well, you're getting 3%. You don't know what I'm getting. It could be 2.5% because they agreed on 5. So now we're splitting it in half and it's 2.5%. They could have took the listing for 4 and it's just 2 and 2. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it breaks down. We split it. That's the way it's always been. Now, if I go to a for sale by owner, you want to go see that house because there's a for sale sign and for sale by owner, I call them and say, hey, this is a conversation we had. I got a buyer that wants to see your property. Can I walk it? They're interested in it. I want to take them to see it. I have a document that says, hey, there's a permission for me to show your house. You'll have to fill that out. Also, by the way, are you interested in paying a commission? And the for sale by owner is going to be like, well, if you bring me a buyer, some of them are like, yeah, we'll pay a buyer's agent. We'll pay that commission. Because they know they don't have to pay a seller's agent and a buyer's agent, so they're not paying both. They're getting off. They're like, we can pay for that one side. It's okay. You got some that are saying, no, you can show my property, but I want your client to pay for your commission. And they can. So then what are you going to do? I mean, what are you really going to do? I mean, seriously, if they come to you and they say, hey, yep, I wanted to show you this for sale by owner, but my client said, or the homeowner said that you're going to have to pay my commission. This is a $250,000 house. Do you know how much that commission would be at 3%? Or I might even save you some money and say, hey, it's going to be 2%. Do you know how much that would be? You do the math. Are you ready to come out of your pocket for that money? Because you should be, because you are playing the game and you are using that agent, and that agent is working for you, and that agent is supposed to have your back. So you should be willing to come out your pocket and pay for it. Because good agents, whether you're on the seller side or the buyer side, are worth it. I could go in there and negotiate a deal for you and save you 10 grand. So you should be willing to pay me 2 or 3 because I just saved you 10. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about. The reason why there's a little caveat when it comes to it, because at the end of the day, when you're a buyer and you sit here and you got that thought in the back, well, I really kind of don't want to pay him, or I don't want to pay him too much. The seller's paying me. So what does that make me feel? Well, shoot, I guess I'm going to just try to work for the seller and work with that listing agent, try to get it done and push buttons for the seller because you ain't paying me and you don't trust me, but here we are stuck. But no, I'm going to keep doing my fiduciary duty to you because that's how honest I am, and I'm going to keep working for you. But at the end of the day, if you do me like that, you ain't going to get another transaction out of me because I want to be respected. I know my worth. You know what I mean? It's on my wall. Know your worth. I know my worth, so I'm not going to let you sit here and say, oh, well, and you don't want to pay $495 for me to represent you. $500. So forgive me. All right. But I'm just wanting to explain this to you today. This is how the real estate market works. The buyer's agent gets paid off of the commission that's agreed with the seller and the listing agent. We split it. That's how it is. But on the buyer's side, that brokerage still has to be paid something. So yes, we do split it, but 9 out of 10, there is some type of fee going to the buyer's brokerage, whether it's $300, $400, $600. And it might not always be that broker. It could be the person doing your paperwork. Like I said, the transaction coordinator, the admin. It could be that could be going, for whatever. You don't know where that money is going, but it's going to your buyer's agent so they can run their business efficiently and work for you. I might have 2 or 3 TCs, so they got to get paid. They might do a transaction, we get down to the end, and then you back out for some miscellaneous reason, talking about, oh, well, the title, I thought the title might not be clear, and so now I'm not going to close. After we done already went through inspections, after we done already done shown the property and went over there 5-6 times, after we done negotiated a sweet deal for you, after we did all the paperwork for you, taking phone calls and texts, like I said, even maybe on vacation for you, but then you don't want to pay $500. That's ridiculous. And so I'm just telling you, don't do that to your buyer's agent. Respect your buyer's agent. And if you have that conversation about paying them, just make sure that they're paid, and make sure that, you're not coming off like an asshole or like a greedy person that's just being cheap. You know what I'm saying? Please. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But once again, it is agreed from the listing agent and that seller. I don't even have a say-so on my commission. I'm showing you this house. This is the house you said you want. That month could be 1%, but this is the house that you want. I have no say-so. So do you realize how that feels? I have no say-so at all. I can't go to the agent and say, well, man, yes, we can have conversations. Sometimes that comes up. But hey, man, can I get another percent? Can your seller cough up another percent so I can? No, I have no say so. But I'm busting my chops for you. So please respect your buyer's agent and pay them when they ask for it. That's all I'm saying. So if you waste their time, like I said, on a deal that didn't close, because yes, we're supposed to get paid at the closing table. But like I said, if you got a deal that didn't close, and then, yes, you backed out for some miscellaneous reason that wasn't valid, you just wasted everybody's time. You wasted the lender's time, you wasted the real estate agent's time, and you wasted the title company's time. And everybody has been working for you. Not to mention, most of these deals take 3 to 4 weeks. So they've been working for 3 to 4 weeks for you. You wasting everybody's time. Start appreciating that. I'm tired of people not appreciating people's time, not appreciating people's effort. And so I feel bad, and I got to go to title. Hey, I'm sorry. They're about to cancel on this. I know you've been working on it for 3-4 weeks. And then they come back, and then the buyer's like, well, deals fall through all the time. Join the real estate world and start saying it to people and see how we feel. Because, yes, they do fall out. They do. But that's for like inspection reasons, things like that. We just couldn't maybe come to an agreement on the price. Not just because, oh, well, I thought the title might not be clear, so I just said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm done. Or, oh, nope, I can't get along with the listing agent, or I can't get along with the seller, so no, I'm just going to cancel the deal. That seller has every right to go after you and sue you to perform on this agreement that you signed and agreed to. They got every right to. Now, depending on the price point of that, they might not, but I'm just saying if they wanted to, they could. So, at the end of the day, pay your broker, pay your agent, have respect for them, because they are out here working, busting their chops. And if they ain't, get a new one, because I know I am. I earn every penny I get, every dime. I stand by it. I earn it. Stuff ain't easy. They sit here and act like this is easy. Then they always want to act like you the only client they got. Could you imagine? I'm juggling 5 clients and 5 transactions, 5 different showings and inspections I got to schedule. These are phone calls I'm getting all day or texts. It's probably 3 to 4 different title companies sending me emails, appraisers. You have no idea. We earn our money. Pay up. Got to pay to play the game. Period. You got to pay. I got people that, they might buy a $500,000, and I've seen it, $500,000 transaction, but then they're going to penny pinch on an inspection. Get a cheap inspection. Let's get the cheapest one. Let's get the cheapest appraiser. On a $500,000 transaction, you want to go everything cheap? And I get it. It's expensive. But if I'm having $500,000 tied up in a property, I'm not going to go do a $500 inspection. I'm like, no, let's spend two grand. Make sure we're good. Pay my agent so I make sure I'm good. You pinching pennies? Come on. And I get it if you're a first-time home buyer and you're buying a property. And yes, a lot of times first-time home buyers, they're at the end of the rope. You are spending a lot of your money. I totally understand that. But when you're out working with these investors and you got investors throwing around money like left and right, and then when it comes to you asking for some commission, they're like, oh, well, I don't know. And there's some hesitation there. I just saw you put 20,000 down on this property, but I can't get 1,000. Like, that means we kind of know what you're working with. The lender done ran your information. We know if you got money in the bank, but you want to pinch pennies. And I'm not trying to get in nobody's income or finances, but all I'm saying is respect your agent and pay them when they ask for their commission. That's all. That's my rant for the day. I'm already at 30 minutes, but that's my rant. And that's how a buyer's agent gets paid. We get paid on the other side, and we have no say so unless it's an off-market property or for sale by owner, and you guys agree. Then we can say, okay, we're asking for 2% commission, or this is how it works. This is my fee for off-market properties. Okay? Pay your agent. You should be able to trust them. Trust but verify. Have a little faith. All right? You got to pay to play the game, man. That's all I got to say. As I always say, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.